touchdowns.
Minnesota gets the ball. The Vikings have the first shot. Yet the Vikings have won the toss as we get set to start it in overtime. Robert Smith, Oliver was down on the sideline, said he is injured, re-injured his knee.
You can just see that grimace there that he is. I think when they were going for the win and Robert Smith was out there, I think he emptied his tank. Look at this one, though.
The last conference championship overtime game, January the 11th, 1987. Denver 23, Cleveland 10. Cleveland 20. And Reeves was the Denver head coach.
Yep, and that was the drive. Remember, they still talk about the drive in both Denver and Cleveland, and it was that championship game.
Anderson to kick it off. Fine drive kick, and Palmer will have a chance for this one. 7.
And I've always felt that championship games should be played on different days. That you shouldn't play both championship games the same day, because this is as big as it gets right now, a championship game, and it should have its own day. Obviously, this game deserves a day.
It certainly does. Randy Moss, Horde, the deep back.
Not a backup guy and a plugger who does things like, you know, just short yardage and blocking and stuff. Right here, Bet, he was pointing to the ground.
Saying it was down.
I think he was saying the ball was down.
Recovery, a run, then the runner was down by contact.
Falcons are great at that, knocking the ball out. David Dixon has it right here. Now he goes down, and what they're saying is he fumbled the ball after he went down. Here's Randall Cunningham's fumble. In fact, he was trying to flip it out there. Now big old David Dixon, the right guard, has it, and he fumbled when the ball. Now watch the official right here. He was pointing to the ground, saying David Dixon was down.
Down on his knee.
3 times, and he hurt his knee, and you know, and then they put Lindsey in for a while, and they bring Dixon back in there, take him out, put him back in. That was a big play by him, recovering that fumble. Say Rich Brooks is the defensive coordinator of this Falcon defense, and everywhere he is, he's always done it. Cannon says that you play this game for it. You play this game to get in big games and get a matchup like Randy Moss. He said all year he hears about Randy Moss. He said he just wants a chance to play against him. And I'll tell you, he's playing him well today. He's playing everyone well today.
The ball was deflected by Lester Archambault.
And it was redirected a little. That took a little off it.
Yes, it did.
I still think it was good coverage by Buchanan. Inside the 20, and you say, who would you rather be right now? I think I would rather be Minnesota in this field position than I'd rather be Atlanta.
Down to Ron Pitt.
All right, Pat, right after the coin toss here, going in overtime, Dan Reeves huddled everybody up. They broke the huddle, and the Atlanta Falcons were chanting, they gave us a chance. Now we're going to take it from them. Let's see if they can do it. Back up to Pat and John.
Have their chance in overtime.
To be the loudest it's been all day, right?
Fullback, Kozlowski.
Have done a heck of a job handling this crowd. Look, they have no false starts. They have no illegal motion, no offsides, no delay of game, no fumble snaps, no forced timeouts. They haven't had any of those things trouble with in this dome.
That's pretty impressive.
Holyfield being here, and Jamal Anderson's dad last night worked at Tyson's corner. Here you see is a little, they're making them think that they're going to pass the ball, and then they run a draw play. Now the thing that Jamal Anderson did, he saw the strong safety, Robert defensive end and a right defensive end. Do against any run, take on a blocker, get in the backfield, get penetration, and get Jamal Anderson before he gets
bad, would you?
Well, what he says is when he can't hear, then he and Steve DeBerg have signals worked out. So if you can't hear Steve DeBerg here, and you wonder sometimes how he gets up, I think it was Jerry Ball.
I think it was.
That means that he wasn't rushing the passer. Watch him, he's going to fake to Jamal Anderson here. See Jerry Ball right there. Jerry Ball is backing off. And you say, what the heck are those defensive linemen? What do they ever do when they drop out? Well, watch Jerry Ball here. He starts here. He feels something. He says, wait a minute. He just spins around and says, look what I found.
10.
Jerry still doesn't know what the heck happened.
No.
He really doesn't.
He's still spinning. At the 21, to be exact. Kings.
You know, going back to that penalty, here you got 5 here. I think this guy's up on the line, so that gave him 6. I think the one they called was right here, that he wasn't up on the line. So they said that, you know, the 5 in the middle, the one out here was 6. and the guy up on top wasn't, and that was what the penalty was all about. Times trying to go to his left out there. They had good coverage on Randy Moss. I think whatever Randy Moss had earlier, I think he's recovered from now, because they were looking, that's where Randall Cunningham wanted to go. Things that the Falcons wanted to do to Randy Moss is they wanted to be physical with him. Field, because he was trying to throw to Matthew Hatchett. He had Hatchett out here on his right side. When he rolled here,
catch,
throwing like a 2-yard loop. 15-year veteran does, Eugene Robinson. We haven't heard a lot from Eugene Robinson today, but he's a free safety, and he's the guy that has to row. He's the guy that has to make that play, being a touchdown, a score, and a win for the Vikings. Hey, that's why you bring in played in the last 2 Super Bowls.
The offensive unit. This time, good kick by Berger. The 2-yard punt, no return. Here comes Chandler.
You know, a guy that's done a good job for the Falcons is their left tackle, Bob Whitfield, today, and he really has a tough time. You know, we talk about the noise in here and all that stuff, and Bob Whitfield is also blind in his right eye. And then he has to block a guy like John Randall or Alexander or whoever. That job over here.
Down.
You know, this offensive line is doing a good job of pass protecting, because that's where it all starts. They're not a great run blocking, although Jamal Anderson makes a lot of yardage running, but this is a young group. Art Shell is coaching them, and they do a very good job as a unit, which is what this whole Falcons team does. They work well as units within the team. Denny Green the other day was saying that, you know, when you play in a dome, and they're both dome teams, and both of these teams were built to play in domes, he said you don't worry about field position. You know, it's not like you're playing in the Meadowlands, or you're playing in Washington or RFK, you know, those type of things where you worry about wind and of a catch by Santiago. What they did is they covered the blitz, and you see Houston there is man-to-man, and he's covering Santiago. Now he's going to have help deep, but Chris Chandler throws a perfect pass.
They cross midfield. Houston's hurt
when he went down there, but that is a tough one. Bobby Houston is in there for Dixon Edwards. Remember, Dixon Edwards pulled a hamstring.
Right.
Bobby Houston is his backup, and now he's hurt.
6:50 left in the first overtime period. Game highlights and analysis of the game. Plus the Hallis Trophy presentation. The Fox Sports Sticker Lab up to the second stats. All coming up next when this is over on the post-game report.
And you see Dixon Edwards is back in there, Pat, and he's playing now with a pulled hamstring. Yep. I saw him earlier in the game go off, and I know that he pulled that hamstring, and then Bobby Houston, his backup, goes in, and then he gets hurt, so Dixon Edwards has to come back in. There's not a lot of choice you have.
There's John Randall over on the side. You know that Dixon Edwards, you think, was playing with a injured hamstring? How would you know? I would think, because someone up in the booth up here in the box would have seen it and reported that, and then the fact that he hadn't been in there, I would have wondered why he wasn't in there, and then the fact that they put him back in there, I would try and find a way to test him. Go to work on him. Down Atlanta. Guys that haven't been where they're going right now. Jamal Anderson is that way. You know, I mean, how do you get ready to run in the 5th quarter? But he's doing it well. Good lead block there by Brian Kozlowski, his fullback, to a field goal now, because at the 35-yard line, it would be a 52-yard field goal. And I think that's what Chris Chandler is thinking right now. You know, let's get it up, and we need about another completion here to be in field goal range. Now watch Dixon Edwards. He can't run. There's no way. No, he can't move at all. No, he has a full hamstring, and you have to have 11 guys. I'm surprised they don't take him out and play nickel. First down. John Randall must be hurt if he's not in there. Anderson deep, 60. Way to Dwayne Rudd put a hit on Chandler. Of a gutsy performance. We talk about Warriors, not a real mobile guy. And even though they don't have a lot of success early, you just keep running them. You just keep going, because there's a point that they're going to get a second win. There's a point that the defense wears down, and that's when you can do some real damage running. The good ones get better. And, you know, Minnesota tried it at the end of regulation with Robert Smith, and now it's Jamal Anderson. The guy that was in there with Robert Griffith. I mean, there's a guy that's playing his heart out today. I'll guarantee it's Robert Griffith. Would you go ahead and try the field goal from here? I would wait. I would try it on 3rd down. I mean, I'll try it on 4th down. No. From here. No, I
I would still run second down and third down. I'd try and get another first down.
The heat's on that guy. Third.
You know, they might do it now on third down because after running that play, they are going to do that, but they ran that play to put it right in the middle, too.
In case there's a bad snap, they can fall on it and at least have another chance.
Yeah, and after Jamal Anderson got a couple of those runs, they didn't need any more, and they just wanted to get it in the middle for Morton Anderson to kick it. Ooh, is this place quiet now?
Yes, it is. Almost 2 years.
Football.
This is Morton Anderson. Their careers just parallel, the two kickers. Red McCombs. That was not a very enthusiastic clap.
You know, it's funny that Morton Anderson is going to be kicking from about the same exact spot where Gary Anderson missed his. But isn't this something? I mean, you talk about the game and the offense and the defense and the coaches and the Vikings and the dome and the noise, and the whole game comes down to the kicker. I mean, the kicker, Morton Anderson right now, is the difference between the Falcons going to the Super Bowl or maybe the Vikings going to the Super Bowl.
Well, Falcons ended 30-27.
Third coach for season to come in and stay with this Minnesota Viking team and battle them all the way down to this.
They go on the road and beat the high-powered Vikings. As soon as Anderson touched it, he knew it was good. Performance by that guy, Chris Chandler.
He hung in there all day, didn't he?
McCombs, who had never seen the team he bought last summer. Let's go down to Ron Pitts.
All right, guys, I'm standing by here with Atlanta coach Dan Reeves, and you can see the emotions are running heavy here, talking to Cornelius Bennett. He's been in the big one before. Coach, all the years you played and coached, you ever been involved in anything quite like this one?
No, I really haven't. I want to thank the good Lord for giving me the opportunity to be here. You know, if I can handle this with my heart, I can handle anything. You know, you hate that somebody has to lose a game like this, and I've been there, and, you know, I hate how the Vikings feel. They played a great football game, got a chance to win it, you know, and missed a field goal. Yeah. It gave us an opportunity, we end up winning. I'm so thankful. I love these guys to death because they never give up. You know, it's a great football game. I'm glad I saw it.
Late in the fourth quarter, you chose not to go for a field goal. Did that one get you?
Like we had to tie it in. They're such an explosive offensive football team. Yeah, hindsight, I look back, I wish I'd taken the field goal, but I also wish, I thought there was a penalty there on fourth down because I thought he got held, but it wasn't called, and, you know, the Lord smiled on us.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot. Let's go back to Pat and John.
All right, here's the field goal again, Morton Anderson. Wins it for Atlanta. Dan Reeves will be back with a post-game show in a moment.